So in this particular question, we're given a 2 by 2 matrix A. So using this information, we need to show that A minus twice of I times A minus twice of I is equals to a 0 matrix. Here I is an identity matrix. So let's begin by finding the value of A minus 2I first. So we have A minus of 2I is equals to, so we begin by taking the matrix A, which is 4, 2, negative 1, 1, minus 2 of 1, 0, 0, 1. So this is the 2 by 2 identity matrix. So this should give us 4, 2, negative 1, 1, minus of 2, 0, 0, 2, which is equals to 4 minus 2, 2 minus 0, negative 1 minus 0, and 1 minus 2. So this is 4 minus 2, 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 minus 0, negative 1, and 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So this is the value of A minus 2I. Let's similarly find out the value of A minus of 3I. So this is equals to 4, 2, negative 1, 1, minus of 3 times 1, 0, 0, 1, which is equals to 4, 2, negative 1, 1. Now we are going to multiply 3 to the identity matrix, so that should give us 3, 0, 0, 3, which we'll be subtracting from the main matrix. So this is 4 minus 3, 2 minus 0, negative 1 minus 0, and 1 minus 3. So let's simplify it. Then that should give us the value of A minus twice of I, which is equals to 1, 2, negative 1, and negative 2. Now we're going to the second stage, which is we're going to multiply both of them, A minus 2I and A minus of 3I. So let's do that. So we have A minus 2I, and we're going to multiply it to A minus 3I. So this is equals to 2, 2, negative 1, negative 1, times 1, 2, negative 1, and negative 2, which is equals to, so 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. For the second element, we have 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Then for the third entry, we have negative 1 times negative 1, which gives us negative 1, and negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, so we add positive 1 to it. Then we have negative 1 times 2, which is negative 2, and negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2, so we add positive 2 to it. So this gives us 0, 0, 0, 0. So this is the 0 matrix. It is A minus of 2I. That's what we are asked to show, that the product of A minus 2I and A minus 3I is the 0 matrix. So that's why we are getting a 2 by 2 0 matrix. Let's move on to the next question. So we have to determine the matrix A such that 2A minus 3B plus 5C is equals to a 0 matrix. So this is given. So let's rewrite this equation. So we have 2A minus 3B plus 5 of C is equals to the 0 matrix. Now since we have to determine the value of A, so what we're going to do, we're going to transpose the matrix 3B and 5C to the right hand side by adding and subtracting 3B and 5C respectively. So that should give us O plus 3B minus of 5C. So 2 of A is equals to, now this is a 0 matrix which hand added to 3B gives us 3B, minus of 5C. Now let's plug in the value of B and C. So we have twice of A is equals to 3 times the matrix -2, +2, 0, 3, 1, 4, minus of 5 times 2, 0, -2, 7, 1, and 6, which is equals to 3 times -2 is -6, +6, 0. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 4 is 12. Minus 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times -2 is -10, 7 times 5 is 35, 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times 6 is 30. So there we have two matrices, so we need to subtract. So this should give us minus of 6, minus of 10, 6 minus is 0, 0 minus of minus 10, 9 minus 35, 3 minus 5, and 12 minus 30. Let's further simplify it. So this is R2A. So this will give us, the first entry will be -16, 6, +10. This is minus of 26, minus of 2, and minus of 18. So this is twice of A. In order to find out A, what we're going to do, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So that means on the right hand side, we have to divide each entry by 2. So -16 over 2 is going to give us 8, -8, 3, 5, -13, -1, and -9. So this is the value of our matrix A. So this is going to be, so this is a 2 by 3 matrix. That's it. Let's go to the next one. So here we're provided with a 3 by 3 matrix A. Using this information, we need to find out the value of A squared minus of 5A. So let's begin by finding the value of A squared. So A squared will be 2, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1 minus 1, 0. This is multiplied to itself. So we have 2, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, -1, 0. So let's find out the product. So the first entry will be 2 times 2 is 2 times 2 is 4, 0 times 2 is 0, so I'm skipping it, and 1 times 1 is simply 1. Similarly, we go to the second entry, so that will be 2 times 0 is 0, plus 0 times 1 is 0, so we are left with only a -1 here. For the third entry, we have 2 times 1 is 2, 0 times 3 is 0, and 1 times 0 is 0. Then we have for the third entry, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 0 is 0, and 3 times -1 is -3. For the second entry, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2, I made a mistake here. So to find out the element in the second row first column, so we have to multiply the second row with the first column. So we have 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 times 2 is 2, plus 3 times 1 is 3. Now it makes sense. Then for the element in the second row second column, we take the second row of the first matrix and multiply it to the second column of the second matrix. So we have 2 times 0 is 0, 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times -1 is -3. Similarly, we can find out 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 times 3 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 0 is 0. Then 1 times 2 will be 2, -1 time will be -2. Then we have 1 times 0 is 0, -1 times 1 is -1, and 0 times -1 is 0. So 1 times is 1, -3. Yes, this should give us A squared. The values will be 5, -1, 2, 7 and 3 is 10, negative 2, 5, 2 minus 2 is 0, negative 1 and negative 2. So that is the value of a squared. Oh, this is not 10, this is actually 9. This entry is actually 9. Everything seems to be in place. Now we plug in this value of a squared into our equation. So we have a squared minus of 5a. So that value is equals to 5, negative 1, 2, 9, negative 2, 5, 0, negative 1, negative 2, minus of 5 times a, which is 2, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3. We have 1, negative 1, 0, which is equals to, again we have 5, negative 1, 2, 9, negative 2, 5, 0, negative 1, negative 2. Going to multiply the 5 to each entries. So we have 10, 0, 5, 10, 5, 15, 5, negative 5, 0. Now we subtract the corresponding elements. So 5 minus 10 is negative 5. Negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1. 2 minus of 5 is negative 3. 9 minus of 10 is negative 1. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. 5 minus 15 is negative 10. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Minus of 1, minus of minus 5, which means minus 1 plus 5, which is positive 4. Negative 2 minus 0 is negative 2. So this is the value of e squared minus 5 of a.